So before we get into scores and everything, got a couple of news things to go over. Number one, Von Miller. We all know him. He can't stay out of trouble. He's suspended for 4 games without pay due to assault allegations. The suspension is in response to allegations from last fall that Miller assaulted his pregnant girlfriend in November of 2023 during Buffalo's bye week. Miller turned himself into Glen Heights Police Department on November 30th on arrest warrant for a charge of third-degree felony assault of a pregnant woman. He was booked into the DeSoto Tri-City Jail that afternoon before being released on a $5,000 bond. Miller and his girlfriend have been together for 7 years and have 2 other children together. Coach Sean McDermott declined to get into the reasoning behind Miller's suspension. I can't. I'm not in a position to go into the details on it, so you can assume what you can assume. That's where we are at on it. McDermott said on Wednesday, it's certainly an unfortunate situation. We respect the decision made by the league, and really it's out of our control, McDermott said. And what we need to focus on is it's an opportunity for someone on our football team to step up. Miller has denied the allegations and said that they are 100% false. In July 2024, Miller said that the case is closed, and the Dallas County District Attorney's Office confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday that the case from November was indeed closed. No charges were ever filed in the case, but the NFL has been conducting a separate investigation. An affidavit obtained by ESPN last year detailed that the allegations against Miller included him putting a hand and later both hands on the woman's neck for about 3 to 5 seconds, pulling her hair and trying to shove her while she was attempting to gather her things and leave after he told her to get out of the apartment where they both lived. Per the affidavit, the woman told Miller she was going to call the police, which prompted him to leave the residence. Police arrived at the apartment, observed minor abrasions on the woman's left hand and bruising to her neck. Injuries consistent with applied pressure to the neck, in addition to bruising her abdomen and left biceps. The injuries were documented when police took photographs that day. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said in March that he did consider placing Miller on the commissioner's exempt list, but that they did not feel it was appropriate at the time based on all the facts. The commissioner's list makes the players exempt from counting against the active roster for reasons determined by the commissioner. So basically, just to kind of take this until I'll give my thoughts on the whole Miller case. But the reason that, again, going back to the Rashid Rice and even Al Kamara situation, at first it was like, well, why isn't Rashid Rice facing any suspension from the NFL, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. As you can tell, the case was closed, dismissed, whatever it was, and then the NFL stepped in. They will not step in until the actual court gets through their hearings, because then they could, if they jump the gun to suspend the player and then find out that they were false, they were innocent and nothing happened, they could be sued for a lot of money from their players union. So they always let the justice system do its thing, and then once that concludes, then they will go in and do their own investigation, as you see here. Don't put hands on on women. Plain and simple. And especially if it's your baby mama. Like, y'all in this together now. That's it. It's the only way to put it. Y'all in this together, but don't do that. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And that's game. Sorry. Royals lose, and we all lose whenever situations like this happen. Just don't put hands on anybody.
Yep.
Right? Y'all leave each other the fuck alone. Like, have a conversation, disagree, and then separate. Just quit putting hands on each other. I mean, too often, both sexes abusing. And then if you're a 300-pound, 6'5" motherfucker, regardless of gender, like, you have a lot of responsibility to not hurt smaller people. All right, and that's coming from a short king himself. So,
don't hurt Tvshka.
Don't hurt me, guys. Don't hurt me. No, don't hurt anybody. Like, it's so fucking dumb, man. Like, at that level, they have so much money, clout, pool. I mean, they have a lot more responsibility socially and relationship wise, and all too often, people are left to their vices and their bad tempers and maybe even steroid-induced behavior. But it's just, I don't know, it's just aggravating that this is still happening. But we as humans, it's going to happen. And when you're in the spotlight, we're all going to know about it. and we're all going to talk about it, which is what we're doing now. So if convicted, throw the book at them. I mean, every single time. We just got to make examples of individuals, sometimes in a harsher case like this. So we actually can try to, just try to curb behavior just the slightest degree each time. Because people just can't do a 180. But yeah, so.
Yeah, and speaking to like just relationships and stuff, people talk about like safe words when it comes to sex, but I think there also needs to be safe words to arguments. Like, hey, I'm not in the mental space to have an argument with you right now, and things might like go a turn that I don't want it to. So I'm gonna say this word, and we can talk about this later. But we're not gonna talk about this right now because I'm not in the mental space or whatever to speak about it. So that's my relationship advice to everyone, to not just have a safe word for sex, but also have a safe word for arguments. This fucking sucks. And I think Tvshka put it perfectly. Like, don't put hands on anyone, like male or female. And then especially too, like if you are a larger person, if you have more strength than the other person, like you have an obligation to watch yourself. Like, and thank you, Justin. Yep, nailed it.
Yeah, it's crazy, Solo, because you're talking about like communication. That's so weird. So weird. Why would we ever do that in relationships?
That's pretty much what always stems from. It's miscommunication. The higher percentage of the time, at least what you see, is an argument broke out and then broadcast. Like, so it's and not exactly like blackout, but you get what I'm saying.
Communication and self-control. Try it. It's actually pretty good, especially if you do tantric. It's good self-control.
yeah. Woosah. Just be like Martin Lawrence. Woosah.
Big fucking fish.
Big, but nice.
Big eyes.
Big eyes, but a nice fucking fish. Shout out to Bad Boys too.